Hello y'all, Satsuchi. Welcome to another video. Please, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video to share it to more people. Um, Leave your comments because I'm so encouraged by your comments. And guys, let's talk about it. Let us talk about this, guys. The narcissists in your family, they want you to give up. Narcissistic family wants you to give up hope. They want you to not believe that what God has what God has put in store for you will manifest. They want you to be sad. They want you to be depressed. And they want you to turn back to Egypt. They want you to basically go back to slavery. So I try to put the speaker as close to me as possible without having to hold it. I don't like to hold my speaker. But nonetheless, guys, your narcissistic family, they want you to give up hope. By the way, like today is the first, we're in Chicago, and today's the first like snow day. I woke up in the morning. So on my way to church yesterday, it was snowing. When we got back from church, it stopped snowing. And the snow did not stick. This morning I woke up, my cars are covered, the floor, it was at least, I would say like 3 inches. So I had to clear all of that. So I have my little scarf on because it was like maybe like 30 minutes to an hour ago. I just got done clearing the snow and I just had to stay in and let that cold, because it's been like 60s, 50s, 60s, like, and we're in fall. So having to deal with like 28 degrees, 20 something degrees was kind of really hard for me. So I think we've been spoiled. And then we have the leaves on the floor with the snows, trying to clear the snow, and you're like shoveling leaves with snow mix. It's just a mess. But anyway, I give God glory because God is the one that creates the weather, right? But the narcissists in your family, they want you to give up hope. They do not want you to keep on pushing, And the way that we scale up, the way that we break free from narcissism is by walking by faith. There's a lot of things that, like, for my business, for that it's like I keep going, trying different things, not being able. Not even like if I feel like something didn't quite work out. God expects us to be strong and be courageous. So if you feel like you failed, you really didn't fail because you tried. Okay, the only way when you fail is when you stop trying. Okay, so we walk by faith and not by sight. So God is calling us to keep walking by faith. Yesterday, guys, it was so crazy. Like I was telling you, my sore started acting up again. I went to Home Depot to rent out the machine. The lady told me, it was not a lady. So when I was doing the pickup, it was a guy who was like, I have to use a credit card. And I was like, well, I didn't have money in my credit card, but I had some money in my debit card. And he was like, no, well, that the only way, as God will have it, the only way that I could use my debit card, even though the last time I used it, they allowed me to use it, my debit card in the store. So like it keeps changing depending. It seems like the rules keep changing depending on the employee. Okay, and the thing that they tell you and also I had to rent out the router. I think is it the router? It's called a router. Router. It's like a big machine, about 200 pounds. For my gutter was so full. Like the water was like almost like halfway up. It was so full, and so I had to, I had to, clear it, and so eventually he allowed me to rent it online on homedepot.com and just get the equipment in the store. So I was able to use my debit card. It was a $200 deposit, and then you pay $80, and then like once the machine is returned okay, everything is okay, you get back your I think it's like $119 back. So I came back home to do my rodding for my thing. It was so full that I couldn't really like see to the bottom, so I was just like playing like a guessing game to see if the router wire would snake into the right hole. So I would put it in, I would change the angle. It took me like 3 hours. I kept doing it, gutter water splashing everywhere, everything, and I just kept doing it. Mind you, the machine was dirty, okay? And one of the things that they tell you is when they give you the machine, that make sure you rinse it out. Rinse out like all the gutter stuff. Make sure that it's clean on taking it back there. So, but when I noticed, I had some clean, brand new gloves that they gave me. So on touching the machine, it was brown. I was like, wow, they didn't even rinse it out. But nonetheless, I did what I had to do. As God would have it, I put anointing oil on the thing because I kept trying and it wasn't going down. I put a drop of anointing oil inside the gutter, and before like less than 30 minutes, the whole thing went down. So I just give glory to God. Had my children help me to mount the thing back in the car, and I took it there. So when I took it there, there was a girl that was out there that was smoking, and a lot of times they'll have their male employees help you to take it down because they don't let the women, do it or whatever. So I saw her and I was like, oh, okay. And the door to the tool rental was open because she was out there like on her smoke break or whatever. So and she was like, you can come in, but normally you have to go around to this entrance, whatever. But because this is open, I'll allow you to come in this way. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And I'm like, well, I need somebody to help me to bring this down. And she's like, well, I'm working, I can. Oh, okay. And I was like, well, I was looking for some other men, not to, I mean, no offense, but it's just like, they're the ones that normally help me, and I didn't want to like, strain your back on anything. And she's like, no, I have an equipment that I'll use. I'll just raise it up, and then, and then that should help me to, not have to need anybody else or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I opened my car door and I was waiting for her. She went and she pulled the machine out. But like, there's like with my car, there was like a little bit like an obstruction. Like she had to, so I was like, well, you have to angle it a certain way, to pull it out, because I didn't put it in the back. I put it on the side, like the side door, and she's like, hold up for a second. So she went back in and called another employee. But while they had gone, I just quickly angled it and I pulled it onto their machine because she had it, leveled with my car, with my car, so I could just drag it on there. But anyway, long story short, I got into the Home Depot and I saw that she had an attitude, and I was like, what is the problem? And she was like, oh, yeah, it's gonna be a $50 charge extra because the wiring was not put right, whatever. And they have never ever told me that before. I've never heard that before. So I was like, what do you mean the wiring isn't put right? This is not the first, second, or fourth time that I've rented here. What do you mean about wiring? The only thing that they tell me, and when she's like, it's all in your contract. It's all in your contract. I'm like, I've never heard that before. So it's like, they try to play these little games and stuff, but I was like, I got you. And so she was like, yeah, it's in the contract and everything. And I'm like, I have never heard that. Okay, well, you know what? And she's like, she has to pull it all out and push it all right back in, and make sure everything is realigned. And I'm like, well, I've never heard that before. And the only thing that I've been told verbally, is that, first and foremost, we have a protection plan. So if it breaks down and I pay for that, that's part of my payment. I have a protection plan. So, if the machine breaks down, then it's covered or whatever. And another thing is, yeah, just make sure you clean it, rinse it out. And which I did. I got some hot water. I a bucket several times. I rinsed the machine, make sure everything was clean, wrapped everything, as properly and as best as I could. So she was like, and I was like, and so it was like really weird, and and it was a lady. So I was like, why is this a lady that give me a hard time? A lot of times when I come and return it, it's men, and I'm like, so why would a woman see another woman trying to do the best she can to, clear her gutter, trying to rent things out and everything? It's not a cheap, put $200 deposit. A lot of people who have bills and things to, it's like, why would you try to make somebody's life more difficult? I just didn't understand. I'm like, you know what? Call your manager. Just call your manager. Let him explain this to me, because I've never heard this before. The only thing I hear is make sure it's clean and, we'll check if it's working and blah, 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 just to make sure at least it's in the same. It was dirty when I got it. So, and she was like, still. So when I told her, like, you know what, call your manager, she knew that I wasn't playing. She's stumbling around, trying to, I'm like, call your manager, and she's like, So she went and, down the hall or whatever. I'm waiting there, and long story short, she came back and she's like, yeah, the manager said for this time and this time only, you're free to go. I mean, it's just make sure next time. And like, I'm like, okay. And she like, we're children of God, and I feel like a lot of times when people see us, they see us chosen ones, they see that you're calm. I spoke to her very respectfully, coming in, just like, they kind of take you for a fool, and then she's like, and I was like, well, as he should, and she was like, what did you say? And I just kept quiet, and she's like, you know what? And she told her the other staff, make a whole long list of the things that we won't accept, I guess, when people return their machines. Make a long list, so that we won't have this problem next time. And she was telling the other employee, and that's their problem. I'm like, okay, just all I need is a receipt showing, okay, that I'm getting my money back, my full money back, okay, from my deposit. All right, I understand it's $80. I've rented it. I brought it back on time. I want my full 119 back. So that's all I need. So she went back into the computer. I mean, she went to the computer. Gave me the receipt or whatever, and she's like, "Have a nice day." And I'm like, "You too." And I kept going. And it's like, and that is one thing that a lot of people see. A lot of these narcissists are everywhere. They are everywhere. And sometimes it's like they will bring out that anger of God. They will bring out that righteous anger from you. It's like, like, why are you trying to, and that is that demonic, and she was out there smoking. That is that demonic energy, They see it was a Sunday. I should be resting. I'm dealing with a flooded basement with all kind of gutter stuff in the basement. I'm dealing with all of this, and it's just like, the devil uses narcissists, okay? They want you to give up hope. I had to, use money, and then now I have to wait for 3 days or whatever for my the money to come back, and this is money that I'm gonna be using for something. It's just like a lot of things, and it's just like, but God elevates us on the struggling, because God knows what we're going through. Narcissists and your minions, the ones in your family, and then the ones that are sprinkled around everywhere, okay? And then there are more of them. They're in stores, they're in schools, they're in churches, they're everywhere, okay? So you just have to be tactical, and you just have to be, very, I'm looking for what the word is. Let the Holy Spirit lead you when it comes to how you deal with these people, but a lot of times they want to take you for a fool, they want to, but it's like, because we have Christ, because we have the Spirit of God, does not make us to be a fool. And I feel like they sense it. This demon sense you have the Spirit of God in you, so they want to trample on you. They want to take advantage of you. But she didn't know that, the Spirit of God can be expressed in different ways. When I was like, call your manager now, it was like, she started walking back and forth. She didn't know what to do. It's like, you know what? You cannot intimidate me. Okay? You cannot intimidate me. You cannot, just make up things. And I strongly feel that she made that up because she didn't want to do her job. Maybe that was part of their job, to make sure that the wires are realigned or whatever. But that's not part of the contract. It says nothing about that in the contract. But what do? They're lazy. Narcissists are very lazy, okay? And they like to find people to use, basically, to use as supply. Well, you have a deposit in. Well, and she was like, it's gonna be $50 to rewire this thing. I have never heard. The only thing that I've been told is make sure the machine is clean. They look at it, take a quick glance, plug it into the wall, give you a receipt, and keep it moving. That is all. So this female narcissist, just got to be, watch and pray, and just let the Spirit of God express himself through you. You don't have to be rude to anybody. And the thing about us children, we don't go out of our way to be rude to anybody. you know, we're a lot of times we're calm, we're very meek. But when they see that in their head, they see boo boo the fool on your forehead, you know. So they get really surprised when you show a different side, you know. Like they get very surprised, like, wow, okay, you know. So I don't know. God help us. God help us. Seriously. We're in the last days, guys. Narcissists will try to drag you down. They will try to use you. They try to abuse you, take advantage of you, you know, and you need that Spirit of God to maneuver in this wicked, decayed world. We need that Spirit of God, guys. You know, we need the Spirit of God. But I just give God glory. My gutter, you know, what the devil planned for evil, God turned it around for good. My son offered to pay, you know, because he started working. He's a senior in high school, 17. He was like, you know, Mom, I'll pay for the, you know, so he gave me $80. I had to use my own money for the, you know, for the deposit. But he was the one that paid for the, it's like, you know what? Because I was like, man, I'm trying to, you know, save up for this bill or and this, that, like, and I'm just not ready for this right now. I'm not, you know, and he saw, you know, the way, like, you know, everything was, and you know, he saw that I was kind of stressed or whatever, and he was like, you know what, Mommy, I'll take care of that, you know, just don't worry about it, you know, just go get the equipment and everything. So, and the devil saw that, you know, I got the victory. I mean, she didn't know anything. All she knew was that, you know, I brought the equipment in, you know, and I was trying to return it and trying to give me a hard time, you know, because the devil speaks to these people. Like, you know what, this one, don't let her go easy. This one, don't let her go easy. That's what the devil whispers to narcissists because they're his minions. Okay, they're his vessel. Just like we're the vessel of the Spirit of God, and he speaks through us. He speaks and he thinks and he acts through them. They can be in stores. So when you see you're in a store, somebody just all of a sudden they give you a hard time, they sense that Spirit of God, because it's just like Jesus Christ. That when the demons, I mean, when he went to certain people and they were like, that were possessed by demons, and narcissists are possessed completely by demons. You know, they were like, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God. You're the righteous one. They know. You know, so the demons that are within them, they know who you are. Don't deceive you. They know who you are. So when they go out of your way to give you a hard time, they know who you are, and they know whose you are. That demon in that store knew who I was, that was out there smoking. She knew who I was. I didn't know her from anywhere, but the demon that was living within her knew who I was. Okay? And they wanted to try me. But they failed, and they will continue to fail. So you got to know that we're spiritual warfare, guys. Just because you escape the ones in your family does not mean that you're not going to encounter the ones that are out there, spread all around. Just like God has his chosen ones spread all around as well. That is why we have to expose. Don't be afraid to expose darkness. Talk about them. Talk about these demons. He comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Just like that demon wanted to steal from me yesterday. For what? Okay? Guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I was like laying in my bed after clearing all that snow. I'm like, you know what, let me just lay down and just let the heat, so I have my space heater on, just let the heat just kind of spread through me and just get me back right, you know. And I was laying down, I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? I'm like, right, I haven't put up my video. Let me go ahead and put up my video. So guys, like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and till next time, peace. God bless.